It always starts the same way, with people insisting that all extremism is identical, that every ideology carries the same weight, and that pointing out differences is somehow an act of betrayal. Some nod along because it feels polite, others get angry because it threatens their worldview. Yet both reactions miss the uncomfortable truth sitting in plain sight. Extremism is universal, but it is not uniform. Pretending otherwise only guarantees more chaos. From that tension, the story unfolds. The modern world has been reshaped by extremist movements that bend religion, politics, and identity into weapons. Public debate fractures, foreign policy shifts, entire societies recalibrate their understanding of security. Yet the conversation remains clouded by fear and oversimplification. People reach for the easiest explanation, often blaming entire populations for the actions of a small minority. The real challenge is learning to hold two truths at once. Every major religion has produced extremists, and not all extremist movements behave the same way or pose the same type of threat. That distinction requires nuance, moral clarity, and the discipline to separate a faith from those who distort it. Judaism offers a lens built for this kind of clarity. Jewish thought emphasizes responsibility, agency, and the obligation to repair the world. The concept of Olam Haba is not a physical paradise filled with reward, but a spiritual state of closeness to God. The focus is not on what happens after death, but on the work required in this world. Tikkun Olam, the mandate to repair the world, is not poetic language. It is a moral imperative. Judaism teaches that evil is not an unstoppable force. It is the result of human choices, which means humans must confront it directly. Violence committed in the name of God is considered a desecration of God's name, not an expression of devotion. This framework draws a clear line between religion as a path to moral refinement and extremism as a corruption of that path. Extremism exists everywhere. Jewish extremists in the West Bank commit acts of intimidation and violence. Christian extremism has produced white supremacist groups and anti-government militias. Buddhist extremism has fueled violence in Myanmar and Sri Lanka. Hindu nationalism has sparked deadly mobs in India. And Islam, like every other religion, has its extremists as well. These facts are not accusations, they are reality. But acknowledging universality does not mean flattening the differences. Some extremist movements are political, some are territorial, some are cult-like, some direct violence only toward rival groups, others deliberately target civilians through bombings and mass casualty attacks. This reflects the ideology of specific groups, not the beliefs of the overwhelming majority of Muslims. Ignoring this distinction helps no one. Recognizing it allows societies to address the threat without demonizing an entire faith. Across traditions, extremists follow the same psychological blueprint. They isolate verses from context. They ignore centuries of commentary. They replace spirituality with ideology, turning religion into a political tool rather than a path to moral growth. They create an identity defined not by belief, but by hatred. They offer simple answers to complex problems, promising purpose to those who feel powerless, and they claim divine approval for violence, which is the ultimate manipulation. Western societies face a unique challenge. Most attacks today come from lone actors radicalized online rather than organized cells. The internet accelerates propaganda faster than authorities can track it. Encrypted platforms and algorithmic echo chambers create fertile ground. The ideological landscape is diverse, Islamist-inspired. Attackers exist, but so do far-right extremists and conspiracy-driven lone actors. Open societies, with their freedoms of movement and speech, are vulnerable to exploitation. Intelligence agencies must balance security with civil liberties, attention with no perfect solution. Addressing extremism requires layered strategy. Community partnerships matter because local communities see early warning signs. Religious literacy matters because understanding what religions actually teach helps inoculate people against distortion. Online radicalization must be countered through cooperation between governments, tech companies, and civil society. Moderate voices must be amplified because extremists thrive when mainstream leaders are ignored. The path forward requires moral clarity without moral panic. It requires distinguishing faith from fanaticism. Judaism teaches that the world is repaired through responsibility and courage, not fear. Applying that principle to extremism protects both security and human dignity.